Dan Wootton's £250,000-a-year Mail Online contract has been terminated following his suspension by GB News over the Lawrence Fox misogyny storm, as new details emerge of an investigation into his conduct while writing for the website. The presenter's twice-weekly Mail Online column had already been suspended for the past 56 days, while lawyers for publisher DMG Media looked into allegations in Byline Times' special investigation exposing Wootton as a serial catfisher and sexual predator. Wootton's primetime weeknightly GB News show, Dan Wootton Tonight, was taken off air after he laughed, along with a sexist rant by political activist Fox, whose disparaging remarks about journalist Ava Evans provoked a huge backlash. In a film statement this evening, Fox claimed he provided Wootton with moral support and helped him to set up a crowdfunder following Byline Times' attacks on him, which had left the presenter in hot water. Fox said that Wootton distancing himself from his comments about Ms. Evans after their exchange was aired was therefore disloyal. The former actor believes he has been made a scapegoat and that the duo's suspension shows that GB News, which bills itself as the home of free speech, is now the home of cancel culture. A DMG Media spokesperson said today that following events this week, DMG Media can confirm that Dan Wootton's freelance column with Mail Online, which had already been paused, has now been terminated along with his contract. This newspaper can now reveal details of the internal probe at Mail Online into Wootton's use of the online pseudonyms Martin Branning and Maria Joseph to obtain sexual images of men by deception, which he has never denied being or being connected to. That foreshadowed his sacking today. What really went on? A source close to the matter told Byline Times, "It has been clear internally ever since Dan's column was suspended that he would not be returning to Mail Online, although there were contractual obligations to observe, which meant a due process of investigation had to be undertaken. His moments of madness with Lawrence Fox live on air gave the pretext DMG has been waiting for. Wootton will not be seen at Derry Street Mail Online's Kensington HQ again." As part of its wider probe, this newspaper can reveal how top DMG lawyers and editorial decision-makers spoke to at least one of the celebrities Wootton targeted with overtures for explicit sexual images. Byline Times reported last month how Wootton pressurized former Big Brother star J.J. Bird to pose nude for photos, having initially offered him money for an underwear shoot for a supposedly legitimate brand in a shoot at Wootton's home in London's Shoreditch. Mr. Bird said, "He invited me to a test shoot at his flat with a fee attached. At that time, I was trying to fund my boxing career and develop my career in entertainment. Dan was a big name in the world of showbiz journalism who had the power to do that. Looking back now, it was a complete abuse of his power and position, and he should not have been offering to do that kind of thing." At the time of the incident, Wootton was just beginning his career with the Mail Online's sister publication, the Daily Mail. In a video call on the 14th of August, Bird gave his detailed account of events to Geraldine Elliott, a partner at leading London law firm RPC, appointed as external counsel by DMG's head of editorial legal, Liz Hartley. It followed detailed discussions between Wootton and Mail Online bosses in the wake of Byline Times' article in which we first unmasked Wootton as the hidden hand behind Branning and Joseph. External lawyers from another top law firm, Kingsley Napley, had already been brought in by Wootton's previous employers, News UK publisher of The Sun, to investigate the revelation that Wootton used the fake identities to sexually harass men, including newsroom colleagues, to try and either trick or bribe them into sharing sexually explicit digital material. Wootton has previously said he had made errors of judgment in the past, but has branded the criminal allegations as simply untrue. His representative previously told The Guardian that Wootton did not at any time contact current or former colleagues at The Sun with offers of money in return for sexually explicit images and did not engage in inappropriate behavior in the workplace. This newspaper understands that Wootton was summoned to a meeting with DMG chiefs and asked for his account of events, and that he denied the truth of some elements of Byline Times' investigation and refused to discuss others. There was a sense that Dan could have done more to meet the questions he was being asked, the source said. It gave the company plenty of pause for thought. Calling for accountability. Wootton's column was only officially paused after this newspaper published digital evidence on the 3rd of August to show the email addresses for Branning, and Joseph used an 8-character password also connected to Wootton's personal website email address, his official work email address, his LinkedIn, and his MySpace account, among others, exposed in an open-source data leak. The odds of the accounts sharing the same password were, according to an eminent PhD specialist in mathematical prediction modeling, vanishingly small. By this point, the allegations were too serious to ignore, and the evidence was mounting up, the source added. It wasn't an option to not comment. This newspaper further understands that Wootton requested additional financial support from DMG when we started exposing him on the 17th of July. A second source close with knowledge of the matter said, Dan wanted external help regarding the impact of the Byline Times investigation, which raised eyebrows at the Mail. At the time, he was earning the best part of £1 million a year, and the need for him to enjoy further financial backing was not immediately obvious. He was appearing 4 nights a week as the anchor on a national news channel known in the industry for paying pretty well. That was hardly going to go unnoticed. It is understood that some of the actions of Wootton's lawyer, Donald Blaney, a solicitor who appears to specialize in representing individuals aligned to hard-right politics, were also unpopular at Derry Street. Blaney sent out legal letters to third parties on Wootton's behalf, denigrating Mail Online as morally reprehensible over the alleged leaking of information about his client. As part of its investigation, DMG Media's lawyers are understood to have spoken to several of Wootton's former colleagues. The investigation and the coincidence of Wootton's on-air troubles at GB News have given DMG Media the impetus to finally sack Wootton in a manner consistent with Wootton's own calls for accountability for other media figures accused of workplace and other wrongdoing. They included most recently Wootton's calling out of his former ITV colleague Philip Schofield, who quit the channel in May when details emerged of a relationship with a junior colleague, leading Wootton to brand Schofield the most loathsome man on TV. Byline Times asked DMG Media whether the Mail Online investigation into this newspaper's allegations about Wootton was still ongoing, and if not, what it had concluded. It did not receive a response.